What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Fellas, you want to say what up?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Smooth. You already know what it is. Back at you again.
Hola, it's me.
All right. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. We are back in the building. It is Monday, June 13th, 2022. Already in June, heavy and making our way through. So tonight we got a great show lined up for you guys. We're looking forward to a great topic, well, actually a fun topic, really, because this topic being that it's serious is also going to be a little fun. Gonna have a good time with it, as well as be able to give you guys some tips and tricks to this adult life, especially me. I've been in this mud for a long time. I don't know about the rest of these fellas, but I've been doing this. So we're gonna talk about lessons that we've learned while adulting. So we're gonna talk about the challenges, the ways we've overcome, the strategies, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys take some notes, make some comments, and let's get to it. So before we get started, actually, I do want to just quickly run down the fact that we got tons of shows here, content from our GFT radio show on Mondays at 10, How to Hustle podcast with Pipe on Tuesdays at 2 p.m., the Styles and Chevy recap every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I will be back on Wednesday. Me and Chevy, we're going to be back heavy. Going to be doing this Miss Marvel review and recap. So make sure y'all get at us for that. Sex with Sunny Live will be back later this month as well. She's here 2 Fridays out the month at 6 p.m. The Fans Perspective hitting y'all heavy with the sports. Make sure y'all get with them every other Sunday at 9 p.m. and various times throughout the week whenever I can get to it. I haven't really been good with this one. Gaming with Styles, it's random. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the link so that you can get the notifications. And introducing our brand new show coming this Sunday, Styles and Dame presents One Crazy Month. Make sure y'all get at us. We're gonna be coming here every once a month. We're gonna come on a Sunday opposite the Fans Perspective. We're gonna hit y'all with the craziest headlines, our opinions on them. Anything that we hear about, we're going to be telling y'all about. So make sure y'all get here. It's going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be looking forward to doing our first show. And
I had a question about that.
Yes, sir.
Sunday is two things: Juneteenth and Father's Day. So you still want to do it?
I'm not Father's Day. I don't be doing that for Father's Day other than being a father. Like, I don't understand.
Hey, but you know what?
My kids give me my mismatched socks and then tell me what's next on the to-do list to go. What you be doing? I don't know. I understand.
That's the most jacked up holiday out of all.
And we're gonna talk about Juneteenth. We're gonna talk about Juneteenth on that show. Maybe we'll do it an after show too, because I don't know. I'm gonna talk.
But Father's Day is the most jacked up holiday of all time.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about that on the show too. We'll talk about
Arbor Day gets more respect than Father's Day.
So yeah, get with us on Father's Day. We're gonna be two dads on here kicking it. So make sure y'all get at us on Sunday. So yeah, so shout out to us for coming up with a new show. Actually, Dame coming up with a new show. Dame created that show from the mind of Dame. So if y'all are part of the fans or of the what's it called, the join the conversation group, you will understand why why he probably came up with that show, because it's basically going to be a outlet for all the shenanigans that Dame gets into in the join the conversation group. So make sure y'all get at us on facebook.com/groups/GFT join the conversation.
And I might add, I might sneak in the Fans Perspective show earlier that day.
Okay, for sure.
Sneak in the Fans Perspectives.
All right, we might have a special Fans Perspective. Make sure y'all get at us on Sunday. You never know. That's why you got to hit the notification bell, people. That's why you got to get the notifications. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, even Instagram. We got reminders on Instagram. We got notifications on YouTube. I just talked to one of our biggest fans. She said she hit the notification bell. She got the alert. She been watching the show. So make sure y'all do that. All right.
So I'm gonna be in this box for 2 hours.
You're gonna be in this box for 2 hours.
Just might.
Box them in, box them in. So tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about lessons we've learned while adulting. I got me a little short list of things that I've learned. I'm sure the fellas either have a list or can rattle off some things that they've learned. So I think the first thing I do want to talk about though is, when did you realize? When did it hit you that adulting was hard?
When I was a kid.
When you was a kid? What?
Yeah, I noticed all the stuff that adults used to do and have to do. Like, I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock to go to work. I don't want to change diapers. I was had very good perspective at an early age.
Okay.
Thanks for you too, because you put me on some game too, because you about what, 8 years older than me?
What? 8? What the heck? They ain't fooling. Nah, he fooling.
No, you about a year or two older than me, so I was like, you had some more experience than I did, because I stayed in my little box on my street for 20 plus years. You moved from different places because your mom and your dad being in the military background. So you had a little bit more, traveled than I was. So I did pick up a lot of stuff from you, and I picked up some stuff from TV. You know, Cosby Show actually worked back in the day. So,
well, you're a good one, because I know I didn't realize it back then. What about you, Smooth?
No, I had no idea what adulting. I knew about responsibility. I had a lot of responsibility as a child, but being that I'm the oldest of 8,
right?
So I understood what responsibility was, but adulting really didn't hit me until after I graduated high school. I took a year off before I went to Virginia State University, and that year was really, really eye-opening for me. That 1 year that I had the most fun I ever had in life that summer, up until that point.
Okay.
Like, that summer was amazing, but reality hit in soon as fall started. You know, like, so I was working, and that's when it really, like, you know, I had to work. I had to provide for myself solely. You know what I mean? Like, I had already start buying my own clothes. You know, I was a teenager doing that, like a young teenager doing that. Right. But at that point, it was, all right, I got a car now. I got to pay for insurance, gas, all of that. Boom. Car accident, car totaled. How I got to handle that now. I still got to get to work. Alex totaled my car too.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
What the heck? Driving it, or you were in yours and he was in his?
No, I had let him hold the car.
No.
To take Kiss to go pick up his food. It was a fight. I forgot who was fighting that night.
A fight night, and you was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah." We was at Jeezy house.
Yeah, fucked up.
We was at Jeezy house, and I didn't feel like leaving because I was driving all day. And that right there, that was one of the situations, because now I had to get the car fixed or try to, and it didn't work out quite well. And then one job I actually lost. So
that'll teach you adulting hard real quick.
Exactly, because it wasn't, you know, like I said, I'm the oldest now, so you know, all them young kids, I can't go to my mom. Mom, can I borrow such and such? I can't go to my dad. You know, my dad was sick at the time too.
Right.
I can't go to my dad. Dad, let me borrow such and such. It was none of that. You feel me? I had to go figure that out myself. Then, you know, a lot of friends around that same time, you feel me? All the little grimy stuff we was doing, or they was doing more than me.
Right.
Start catching up. So they start going to jail. You feel me? So like some of my closest friends start doing, you know, like, man, they gotta do 8-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So that now, I mean, life come at you fast, real quick. Came at me, and that was one of the reasons why after I took that year off from after I graduated, I was like, you know what, let me take my ass to college. And then that was a whole nother experience within itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. I think you hit it right there when you started talking about taking care of yourself, not having a support system that can back you up financially or sometimes just even logistically, as well as, having that realization that, you're not only just responsible for yourself, but you're accountable for yourself. And people don't realize there's a distinction between that. When you get into the corporate world, you find that out quickly. But there's a distinction between that being. It's like, and you said it. You said it earlier. You said you were used to responsibility. You had that. You had that in your hand. And our parents teach us responsibility quickly. When good parents do. When you're young, they teach you how to have chores. They teach you how to take care of your room. They might even have you do little odd jobs and that kind of thing. Or if you're on certain, types of properties, you might have bigger jobs to do. But when you really have to be accountable for yourself, that's huge. That's when you realize adulting is hard. That's when you realize that there's more to it than just being grown. You know what I'm saying? That's when you realize that there's more to being a good, a productive citizen than just, being good or just taking, just not robbing people. You know what I'm saying? You have to, if you want to be legit out here on your thing, you gotta struggle. You gotta, go through some things. There's so much that is that's entailed in that, right?
And you got to learn yourself. You still learning. Like that was one of the main things. Like I remember, I was in a relationship, and full disclosure, she mentioned it on the show before. One of our old co-hosts, Double D, Red, Miss Funches. I remember when we was in high school, that senior year, and she could vouch for this. I used to be like, she'd be like, Clint, I know you. And that hurt me. Like, that just didn't sit well in my soul, because I'm like, shit, I don't even know myself yet. You feel me? I don't fully understand what I like. I don't fully understand what I dislike. I don't even know what direction and life I want to go as far as career and all that. That was one of the main reasons why I took a year off. So when you at that age, 18, 19, some people, they have a vision for themselves of what they want to be. Me, I can say, like, I really didn't. You feel me? I really didn't. Part of the problem was ego. Because you got, I felt like I could do anything I wanted to do. It's just, okay, what I want to do. I could do anything. That's how I felt, and I think that process and learning myself, learning what I can deal with, what I can handle. And, I'm pretty sure we're going to get into it further in the conversation, but relationships as well. It's different between being in a relationship in high school and then being in a relationship as an adult.
Exactly.
That's two different worlds.
When did when did you realize that you had no safety net? Like, you're out here on your own now. Like, there's no going back to mom and dad or to whoever helps you out a lot. When did that realization come in?
That year I took off. That's when I realized that, they would still hold me down when they could in certain situations. You feel me? And it wasn't necessarily financially. Like, my dad tried to throw me a going away to college party. You feel me? And all my uncles or all my aunts' family shit only got $125. You feel me? Like, you talking about leaving, going $125? That ain't even a train ticket.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I realized then that, you know, and my dad tried to prepare me. I got to give him credit. He told me like you gonna have to put that work in now. You feel me? Like it's on you. You know, I remember when I was down there and I wanted to come home. He was like, "Motherfucker, you gotta figure that out." Like, you know what I mean? Like me and him got in real to it. Like, damn, y'all can't come. You feel me? Like we only 4.5 hours away. Like y'all can't just. You feel me? We'll be back in the afternoon. You leave in the morning. You feel me? You'll be back home in the afternoon. And it was like, that's when I knew then, like, yeah, you know what I mean? This shit on me.
Yeah.
And then he got his sickness progressed. And I was like, all right, you know, I got to be an example. I got to be there to help for my little brothers, my sisters, you know, in a different way. You feel me? And, you know, that was one of the decisions I regret because he tried to, you know, stay in school. That's was his main thing. Like, don't come home, stay there. But my main thing was like, I got to help. You feel me? Like, I can't just leave y'all out.
You felt more obligated than anything else.
Exactly. You feel me? So, but that's to answer your question, Dame. That's when I realized.
That's when it hit you. Yeah. So for me, it was like it was. You know. I've always talked about this. You know, I had my estrangement with my parents, mainly my dad. You know, me and him had our arguments, our fights, our disagreements, and you know, it was the classic thing. You know, like I was super smart, really responsible, and thought I knew everything, right? You know, and then my dad was trying to, you know, kind of basically put me back in my place or get me back in order, but I just didn't want to, you know, deal with that. And then, you know, when I moved out of their house and moved in with my aunt and kind of moved out on my own, you know, being that young, you know, I kind of had this chip on my shoulder, like, oh, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna just make this happen and make this work. So, you know, 16 years old, I'm out pretty much doing my own thing. And I got a little inkling when I was staying with my aunt for a little short time while I was finishing up high school. And, you know, she kind of basically, you know, had some things that like her thing was like, you got to be in at a certain time. You got to, you know, do certain things with your cousins. You know, I looked at them like nieces and nephews, or like, you know, just I'm here to, you know, she was like, she's like, I let you come here so you can help me, you know, and, you know, you got to be here for them, you know, you got to be a good example. Right. And so I had never been responsible for a kid before. Right. You know, so I just felt like, man, like, you know, I mean, I was responsible for my sister, but it was different then. You know what I'm saying? It felt different because it was more of a realization that these kids really do look up to me and they really do, you know. And so it was just like, man, that made me want to work a little harder at being more, you know, conscious of this. Right. But then, like you said, Smooth, it was like once I got really fully out on my own, and this is like going into college, and I was totally, you know, away from my parents, where they, you know, they no longer. Well, I was getting a little allowance because of the way our finances are set up, but I was getting that money, that little allocation. But I had to still work. I still had to, you know, that all that really took care of was like, I think it took care of like half of my car note. So it was like not even really a lot. So it was enough to take care of that. But I still had to eat. I still had to take care of my room and board money because I my scholarship only covered my academic part. And then, you know, fun I wanted to have. And then when I got out of school, which was financial issues, you know, I had to work to live, you know, in general. So it was like, that's when it started hitting me like, man, this is not as easy as it looks. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Smooth, it was easy to get my first job. It was hard to get that second one. And it was even harder to get that third one. And that realization that I got to work and I need to be, you know, I need to get paid. I got to pay bills. You know, I got to have certain things taken care of. And, you know, all these things mounting and piling up, it just kind of continued to like, you know, especially when I left school, it was like, now I got to really figure out what my career path is going to be. You know, am I going to make it back to school? Am I going to continue to run my businesses? And, you know, trying to run a business as a young kid, you know, all of that was like always weighing on me. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it really just was like, it was just evident, you know, like, oh man, this is definitely not as easy as it looks. It definitely felt like, you know, I didn't have the support of my parents because, you know, of course I didn't, but you know what I mean, that I was accustomed to, and that's, you know, was also like weighing on me at that point. But being the resilient person I was, luckily enough, I was able to kind of just be like, you know what, tough it out, you know, deal with it. And, you know, like Dane was saying, you know, the same thing for me. It was literally when I got to school, that's when I realized, you know, when I was at my aunt's house, it wasn't my parents anymore. I could at least rely, because my aunt was, it was her house. I didn't have to worry about rent. I didn't have to worry about if I was going to eat or not. Like I normally ate out, but if I was like, oh man, I don't have no money for food, you know, I could definitely get a meal at the crib. So, you know, that little short time ended quickly, and then I'm like, dang, now I gotta feed myself. You know what I'm saying? I you know, I think it was like that shock of like I don't have any financial support or any, you know, logistical support, because like you said, Smooth, I had, if my car had an issue, I had to take care of it. You know, I was lucky to have a car at that time. You know,
Mhm.
being only 16, so it was just like all this stuff was like always like hitting me, like making me realize like, dang, you know, like this is really a full-time job being a full-time adult, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I definitely think that, you know, when you first get that first taste of freedom, it also comes with that first taste of hard adulting. You know what I mean? Where
So
it makes you realize that it's not as simple as it used
so
to
I
be.
got a
That Dodge Stratus.
so I got a question for y'all.
Mhm.
How did y'all handle and then, I mean, I guess we can go in order. How did y'all handle like y'all first huge setback as an adult? And when did that come about? You feel me? Did it come about? For me, to be honest with you, it took a few years for that first real setback. Like I said, you know, the car issues, took all that, you know, I worked through that. You feel me? End up getting me an even better car. You know what I mean? Because I was putting that work in. But it took a few years. And then, to be quite honest with you, my dad always told me this. He said, he always tried to beat in my head. Take care of yourself first before you take care. That's one of the main reasons why he wanted me to stay in school, right? He always said, take care of yourself first. He's like, I don't care about nothing else. I don't care what your mom tell you. I don't care what. Don't think about me. Don't take care of yourself first, because you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. So I guess my setback came from spreading myself
Too
thin, and I couldn't see the downfall. It was gradual. It was gradual, and then one day I woke up, and I'm like, damn, I'm in a hole.
thin.
You feel me? And can't nobody help me get out but me. And I didn't. Now it's like, how the hell I'm gonna figure out how to get out this hole now? You feel me? So that was my situation. It took me about till I was like 22. So you thinking about I'm initially from 17 is when that adulting started for me.
Right.
And I had a smooth run up until like 22. And then by 23, I'm looking around like, oh shit. Oh shit. This
Right.
now is real. Like now is real. So when did y'all ever encounter that situation, first of all, and how did y'all handle that?
Go ahead, Dane.
I handled mine horribly. My real first taste of freedom, because you know how sometimes parents push you out the nest. My mom was like, as long as you're doing it right, you doing to work, you helping with the house, you don't have to leave. You have a haven here. I jumped out. Found a girl. You know, I was feeling like, you know, I lost my job up in Michigan. Here, I was still staying with my mom. And I remember just going down to visit my girl because she moved to Florida. She was a customer service agent for an airline. Flew down there for free, stayed for a minute. I ended up finding the same job I did up here down there. They hired me right on the spot for that experience. So I'm like, bet. Got me an apartment down there, making my own life. Then I was rear-ended in an accident and I could not work. Where I'm like dude, they not paying me unemployment yet. I had to actually sue the company I was working for to get money, to get my wages.
Wow.
They didn't, because they say no, you could have went back to work for light duty. There is no light duty. I'm so injured from the accident, it hurts to walk, lay down. My back was just messed up, my hip, and pretty soon in the future, I'm just gonna have arthritis and pains. Like, where my hip hurt me? Why my back hurt me? Sometimes just one of those things I got to deal with. My mom thankfully let me come back home before I tried to, before I healed up. I went to North Carolina and tried to do the same thing there, and that was another setback. Before I went home, because I ended up moving in with a friend. He's like, "Yeah, you can crash here for a minute, till you get on your feet. Since that job won't come through for you." Job fell through, and I like, you know what? I gotta bounce. No, I got my income tax money. I left them a little something for helping me out, along the way, and came back home and got back on my feet eventually a couple of years later. But
oh man, it took a couple of years. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I still have a car.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
That
was the middle part of the story. I ended up buying me a car with the money, the settlement money I got from my company I sued. And I went to North Carolina with that car. On my way back to Michigan is in March. I hit a patch of ice on the
damn. We got to teach them how to drive.
The Toledo Turnpike. I ended up hitting a wall.
Damn.
I drove that car with a broken windshield, airbags out, all the way back to Michigan. That car sat in that garage for at least good 5 years before I scrapped it.
Hey, Brett, how you doing? That's messed up.
And meanwhile, I am getting rides back and forth to work. Thank God these people helped me out when they did.
Right, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my one of my biggest setbacks, or first setback, or first huge setback, it was like a series, kind of like Dame. It was like a series of things, and I think it started with the fact that I was like, my own fault, partying in school, partying, working, and then trying to go to school at the same time when I was in college. Didn't work out. So with my grades falling, I went on academic probation, and then I had to like climb my way back out of that. So in order to do that, I had to quit my job. So I stopped partying too, but it was like I still couldn't concentrate on school as much as I needed to pull myself out of academic probation with a full-time job, because that's the problem. I had a full-time job, not a part-time job. So so I had to quit the job, and then I was like trying to figure out how to get a part-time job, but was so focused on school. I did a great job in getting myself back out of academic probation, because I was allowed to come back a third semester, but it was like without the money coming in, I had like no way to pay my expenses, no way to pay my room and board, because they wanted their check too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was like, it was they were having a hard time getting it together. So it was just like I had to kind of like figure out the next step. So I like I said, I left school, and so I had to go get a regular job and start, like I said, start my businesses and stuff. And so it was like, I thought I was doing good because I got the job, got me an apartment, I had to get another car because the car I had in school got repossessed from not having a job. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting up there with, having to get another job, having to get another car. So that was tough. Got through that. It was like I was climbing back up, and then totaled the car. I probably need to learn how to drive the totaled the car, and actually it was a guy just like, he stopped in the middle of the road right in front of me. I wasn't, I didn't have enough following distance, and ran back in the back of him. So how the rear of a car tears up the front of the other car. So yeah, my car just disintegrated. So so that set me on another setback, because once again, it's hard to have a job, especially in Detroit, Like
Mhm.
it ain't no walking to work, ain't no biking to work. We don't have mass transit. It's like it's tough, being able to maintain. So it was like that struggle, and then it was just like so many different things kept popping up. You know what I'm saying? It was like the hole was getting deeper and deeper. So what I ended up having to do was just kind of like I just basically said, you know what? Let me focus on one thing at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the problem I was having was I was trying too hard to fix everything all at once. Right?
Exactly.
I leave school, lose my car, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get another car, get another job, start this business, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Get an apartment. I had all these 7, 8, 9 things going at the same time, stressing myself out. Not being able to really focus in on what I was trying to do on each thing. So the business wasn't thriving. The job was sucky. The apartment was fine, but I was hardly there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I had to learn how to like, okay, let me focus in on what am I trying to do with the business. Then what am I trying to do with the job? Then now I can focus in on, all right, now I've got made, enough success to be able to get the right vehicle or be able to get the right, whatever. So it was just like, time, you got to clear your cash, bro.
Mhm.
So, you got to figure out what's most important or what's most essential before you start jumping on the least, the lesser essential things, because sometimes you can get out of focus or you can get all, flipped around and not really make any progress.
And that was, I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't understand that then. So it's like when I got my whole, instead of, how you have a string of victories, right? And like you feel like you on top, like everything. And I'm talking about over a period of time, a nice period of time. I had a string of victories, and then the law of averages.
Mm-hmm.
That shit switched on me. And then still dealing with, I think one of the things that really set me back is like I had a lot of people in my family die
Oh, really?
around the same time.
Wow.
So it was dealing with, you gotta say, my dad died, my grandma died, real close friend of mine was
Hey,
murdered.
Keela.
Hey, Keela, real close friend of mine was murdered. Other family members dying. It was like it was all, compact in like a 3-4 year period.
Right.
And before I knew it, like I said earlier, not only was I in that hole, but mentally, you feel me? Like sometimes you don't know you depressed until you take
Right.
it back. And I'm like, damn, you feel me?
That's
And
really too.
yeah. So it's like dealing with that. Here's the example. This is how out of it I was. And I mentioned this on the previous show we did. My identity was stolen.
All right.
Like to this day, when I do my taxes, I gotta get this special number and everything in order to do my taxes. I just can't go do my taxes. I was getting these letters in the mail. Oh, you got this timeshare. You know what I mean? Like what are you doing with it? But I'm like, nah, this can't be. This just junk mail. This ain't, you feel me? But I'm so out of it because I got so much other stuff going on. Like I'm not even focused on it until I try to get my passport, and that's when I found out, like, damn, what I mean? My identity was stolen. But that's how far out of it I was at that particular moment. And like Willie just mentioned, I didn't have the know-how to, all right, one thing at a time.
Right.
My ego's deep down inside, even though I'm depressed, deep down inside, my ego still was telling me, you can do it all at once.
You got to do it all. Exactly.
Do it all. You feel me? And
let's explain this to Keela real quick.
Yeah.
She says she's late. She says she kind of feels it, but she says, what do you mean by setback? And setback, we're just talking about when you're an adult. You know how when you first realize that you got, all this freedom, but you also have all these things that you got to do, you're accountable for. but then you hit that brick wall, a job loss, a death in the family, something that, you know, maybe like for me, it was leaving school, like something that sets you back on your path to success as an adult. That's what we're talking about by the setback.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, another thing I just thought about. When I came back to Michigan, one of my boys, coolest guy I knew, invited me to his wedding in Vegas and expected a guy who just got in an accident and have no money and no car to be there for him.
He should have been there, but oh well. I don't understand the problem. Go ahead, School. Go ahead.
Figure it out.
Right, figure it out. But yeah, like you were saying, your ego, that's huge. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, so my ego was still telling me deep inside, like, you know what? Go ahead. You can do it. Do everything. And it wasn't until, you know, a friend of mine, Frandy, I was working at UPS overnight. And it's about like a 1.5 mile walk. And you know, when I first started there, this when that gang shit in this city went crazy. It was going crazy. You know, so I was walking to work like 2 a.m. You feel me? And I had 2 jobs at the time. Now I had got a second job. So I'm like, I'm about to work these 2 jobs. I'm about to dig my way out. You feel me? And we was on break at UPS, and I was explaining to him that I walked to work and what I gotta go. I gotta hurry up and walk home because I gotta shower, get to my other job. He was like, bro, he's like, I got you. You know, and this was the first time, you know, you got friends, you know, I got real close friends, but this was the first time that somebody was like, I'm gonna help you out. You feel me? And then to ask for nothing in return. You feel me? He never told me I offered him gas money. He was like, nah, you good, bro. We going to the same job. I got you. You good. And he was just like, you know what I mean? Just take it one step at a time. You feel me? Get your shit together. You know, you out here doing what you got to do. Just take it one thing. Don't put too much pressure on yourself because it's just going to make you get in your head, you know what I mean, and make bad decisions. It's like, just take it one step at a time, one day at a time. And that's what I did. And from that point forward, I could see light. Yeah. I could see light. And once you see, once I seen that little flash, like it ain't even stay long, bro. It just through the dark. I said, oh, okay.
Yep.
And it was up from there. It was just up from there. Of course, we know we had setbacks, minor setbacks there, but from there it was.
Brittany said, you know, when you try to do a million things at once, you can't do everything at 100%. That's 100% correct. Exactly. You know, that's the issue. Is you're trying so hard to split your time and take your resources different directions, and something gets missed or something gets less than you really intend. You know. Or you make rash decisions because you're in a hurry to get something done. Like for me, I made the rash decisions of going into certain businesses too quick without really analyzing what I was doing, without realizing I needed a team, without, doing proper preparation. I went into a job just because I wanted a job real quick. It was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just do this job. And it was like, that was the wrong job for me. I could have held out a little longer and went to a different route and probably would have made way more money way earlier and been into my actual field earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasted like I feel like it was like 3 or 4 years before I got into IT. I mean, that's crazy for a person that's as good at IT as I am. But I was doing it as a business and thought that was enough, where I could have been doing it as a regular job and just excelling my skills. You know what I'm saying? And, it was just always these things that, you just do because, like you said, your ego is telling you can do it all. You got this, or you got to do it fast because you're afraid to fail. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. You get so afraid to fail, you cause yourself to fail. You know what I mean? So that's the big thing. Keela said, I've always kept 2 jobs and a nest egg, rainy day fund, and piggy bank. So thank God I haven't exactly experienced a setback. Also, I have an awesome support system. I always do my best to prepare for the work. I mean, you're a lucky one, Keela. You got I mean, to have a support system, and that was the thing for me and Smooth, you know, having only certain things being supported and then other things, especially the financial part, not, it's hard, you know. Also not knowing how to save or not knowing, I mean, my parents were the worst at managing money. So it was just like, I didn't learn how to do anything, you know what I'm saying? So it was always a challenge, you know, trying to figure that out, you know. And I mean, I'm gonna give y'all a big tip later on in the show, so make sure you stay tuned in for that when it comes to saving money. But and then, you know, having you know, multiple jobs. I tried to do that with having a job and a business and that kind of thing, or you know, trying to, you know, maintain a couple of different businesses. But like I said, if you're not even doing that correctly, it can go the wrong way. You know, you can end up putting yourself in the wrong position than where you could have been. I mean, like, I make really good money now. I could have been doing better years ago had I known what I know now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Keela, let me ask you a question. I stress over preparing for a setback, though. It's times when things didn't go the way. All right, remove money from it, though. Let's remove the financial aspect of it, because a setback isn't necessarily
it's
financial
not all the time. Yeah,
you feel me? It could be a relationship, you know, a poor relationship. You know, linking yourself to the wrong person could set you back tremendously. Like, trust me when I tell you. Trust me.
Right.
And it could be like I was mentioned earlier, deaths in the family, or you know, like I said, going forward, health. You know, I had this experience setback because of my health. You know, so my question to you, Keela, is, did you have any of those type of setbacks? You know, because, you know, those are just as detrimental as a financial setback. And in some cases, depending on the situation, worse. Like I said, linking yourself to the wrong person. And I know women may experience this more than men, but we definitely experience it, dude. Don't get it fucked up.
You're right.
You know what I mean? But I would love, and Britt, I'd love her to answer that question as well.
You know, for a while, I had a physical setback. A couple of times a year, I will suffer from cluster migraine headaches, where sometimes I'm hospitalized. Like, this past year was the worst that I can remember ever experiencing. Where I went to the ER a couple of times, they give me some BS Benadryl and some Tylenol, and I'm like, no, this is not going to help. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to get people not to be addicted to narcotics or trying to come here and get a fix. But no, these are real people. I'm trying to tell the hospital to the point where my doctor had to admit me. And they actually like, oh, a doctor admitted you? Let's give them something stronger. Let's give them the real stuff. You know, finally, after a while, after a month, it finally calmed down. It felt like they were going to come right back, but by that time, I already had lost my job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's always tough when you have a physical setback. Have you ever had that issue, Smooth?
Physical setback?
Yeah. No, I mean a physical setback that cost you a lot. I mean that your physical setback ever made you lose a job.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know you have you got a whole situation, but no, I didn't know if you had lost a job because of it too.
I'm talking about disability,
right?
Like, you know, having to wait and fight for them to get a disability check. You know, with the doctors, you know, like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, that was the hardest. And still is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with.
Right.
For the simple fact it happened, my baby wasn't even 2 yet. You know, so I had just, you know, like, I'm back. You know, like, I'm here now. Y'all about to feel me, because I wasn't just working myself back to with the job. The job was irrelevant, because the job at the time I was going to leave anyway. I was setting myself up. I had set myself up to move forward. to a better position, a better job, everything. And then that happened. Then one day, like, bro, I can't walk. I can't breathe. You feel me? I'm throwing up. I'm 145 pounds.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at my daughter. All I could do is cry every day, bro. So, shit, man. Like it still get me, like shit. Last night I was crying, bro. It was like I keep it gangster. You know what I mean? After the show, like I got to, now it's like I remember Kobe said when they asked him which part of his career was the best, number 8 or 24. He always say 24 because it was the hardest, because he had to deal with so much more physical ailments. And I feel like that's where I'm at now. Like this is the hardest part of my life, but it's also the most productive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still getting stuff done, still running businesses, like I weathered that storm, but it still gets mentally taxing. So, like, yeah, I seen Britt. What was Britt comment?
All right, let me pull that up real quick. So Brent said, my most recent setback was when I put out my web series. So she had a web series, basically a TV show on YouTube. I was working with a co-producer who wasn't supportive, and I had to cut ties with them. I had a whole cast and crew I now had to pay on my own. And in the midst of all of that was planning a wedding. My goddad passed and I was moving. This project was hella important to me, and I was so nervous I wouldn't be able to get it out. I was stressed. I got it all done, but emotionally and mentally, I was a fucking mess. And that's the thing, a setback definitely can be a series of things that cause you not only to lose pace and to lose progress, but you also may end up, having other things that come behind it as well. Like she said, being stressed out, being, unable to get other things around you done, unable to support the people you want to support. So those setbacks are huge. Keela said, I broke my ankle in July 2014. My basement was flooded August of 2014. She lost a Grammy in 2014. All same year, but staying prayerful and positive helped her through so much, and it all worked out. Sued her job and won, paid her bills, became closer with family to help with grieving. So yeah, so you get it, Keela. That's what we're talking about. It's like there's certain things that can happen, and it could be a series of things that kind of culminate in, you feeling like life isn't going the way you want it to, or life isn't going in the direction that you intended or you planned, especially in best laid plans, right?
Yeah.
Best laid plans, bro. Brittany said, financially and emotionally, my divorce was, I guess, a setback, but also a come up.
I can dig
I've been there.
So yeah, I feel you there. So definitely, divorces are hard, and I've had this conversation before with people, because when I went through my divorce, when you go through divorce, it's like a death in the family. You know what I'm saying? Because you're, especially if the marriage was overall good, but then there's just so many things that go bad that cause it to just take a downfall, and you're like, why? Or you're like, I know why, but it's hard to deal with, or you know what I'm saying? It's an emotional thing. So
and you're losing a piece of yourself because you're tied with that person. Y'all had, like the Bible said, two become one. You do become, you two set your own identity up for each other. Like y'all rub off each other, and now you're losing a piece of yourself. You have to create a whole new identity for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it all over again.
Keela said, as far as a relationship setback, I don't know if it was an exact setback, because I learned from failing relationships. And moving forward, I learned that real relationships won't set me back. So if it ain't real, it'll be cut off. I learned to protect my energy. Now, that's a good one. Mine's was similar, Keela. What my last real two, be honest with you. And I always was like, I was never the one. Anybody that know me, no, Clint don't just jump in no relationship.
Yeah, right.
Clint sit his ass by himself and be just as happy. But I remember it wasn't even my daughter's mother. When that relationship ended. What's up, Hank?
What up, Pint? Trying to help them out, guys. But it's a struggle.
It was me. Once that was over, I immediately jumped into another relationship, and I've never done that before in my life. I guess I had got comfortable being in a relationship, so when it was over, I still wanted that comfortability. But unlike Keela said, she learned from it. I didn't learn anything immediately. You feel me? Hence, the relationship I jumped in, the woman was so similar to the relationship I just left. You feel me? I'm like, I'm in the same damn relationship. It's just another person. You feel me? Like, but it's the same damn, you know what I mean? Same. They just got different names. It look different.
Right,
you feel me?
Right.
So at that point, that's when I had to take a step back and I was like, all right, I got to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a part of growing as an adult. You know, that was a part of my growth. It's like, all right, what am I doing wrong? Why am I attracted to this? Why don't I handle these certain situations in a relationship a certain way or a bad way, however you want to look at it? But that leads to my next question for y'all though. What in adulthood, you know, like we well into our adulthood life. But what is there something that you still like, damn, I still need to work on that. Me is patience and procrastination at times. What about y'all?
Procrastination.
I think procrastination is the key for everybody. That was definitely about to go into my next question about life lessons. But yeah, procrastination as well as I just think that, well, I don't know. For me, most things that I think I've learned or that I think I've heard about, I've either applied it already or have made it work for me in some way or another. But yeah, procrastination is a big one. Yeah, that's the only one I can really think of at the moment, really, to be honest.
Is it what about in your parenting?
Oh, in my parenting, so you know, I've had several chances to get parenting right, quote unquote right, because you never can be 100% right, right? You know what I mean? It's always a learning experience, and that because one of the first things I learned was that Keela said she wants to learn how to run. Oh, you know, actually, I want to make mention of Keela's last comment. She said so much in her life changed when she learned to look at situations, good or bad, to learn what the experience is teaching her, and that's huge. That took me a while to learn. I learned that early on in my like my late 20s, early 30s. I learned that. I also learned how not to be stressed out about things because of the fact that being stressed out about stuff, all you're gonna do is just ruin your health. You're not gonna make any progress in what you're doing. But as a parent, I definitely learned how to be more. Finally got my man in. All right. So finally, I had to learn that one, that my kids all had their own personality, so they all had their own ways they needed to be parented. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things. But something I more recently kind of learned was to be more like thoughtful of what my kids would run into, because I had a bad habit of waiting until things happened and then saying, hey, learn from this. You know, hey, check this out. Hey, you know, but now I've learned recently that I need to be able to say, you know what, I know you're going to encounter this, or you might encounter this, or this is something you need to think about in the future. You know what I'm saying? I did that with my kids for, like, you know, careers, college, you know, businesses and stuff like that. But when it came to other life things, it was like I was missing that part of it, you know. So I've gotten a little bit more into trying to see things in the future for them, and kind of trying to prepare them for those unforeseen things, those lessons that they're not going to get in school, or they're not going to get from, things that are happening right now. You know what I mean? So that's something that I recently had to learn, and that I'm trying to put into practice now.
Probably being a little bit more proactive with a lot of things when it comes to my kids and just in life. Somebody said you don't know what you don't know until it actually comes up. Like, you can't foresee things if you don't know. But sometimes being proactive into learning, I guess that's why it's good to have this discussion what we're having now, because maybe we can foresee something from somebody else's perspective. Like, oh, I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when we was having one of those relationship episodes.
Very favorite.
And I was I think I was telling Sonny, I was like, I was referencing my relationship and failure. It was like, how can I, not only just I can't apologize for what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, so I'm experiencing it as it happens, and I'm trying to learn as it happens. So if I don't handle it properly, I guess I can apologize for that, but you can't get mad at me or hate me for not knowing how to deal with that situation. And and as far as the parenting, I'm gonna tell you something. Just happened this past Saturday. I gotta check my temper, bro. I really gotta check my temper. One of the little neighbors down the street, little boy, my daughter was out there playing. I come outside, my little daughter in the little driveway, neighbor's driveway, and little boy who takes off, and my daughter come walking to me like, yeah, he said something, and stuck his middle finger up at me and all that.
Oh wow.
And because I guess he was already just like, teasing and trying to pick with her.
Mm-hmm.
Before I knew it, I was banging on the parents' door, bro.
Mm.
I'm banging. At first, I thought they was in the backyard still. I ran to the yard. They wasn't in the yard. Before I know it, I'm banging on the door. You feel me? And I was ready for whatever came with it after that. And I realized after I did that, all right, like, Clint, you gotta check yourself. You feel me? You can't overreact, because that's going to teach her to overreact in certain situations. Right. I could have just went to them calmly and told them what was going on. We could have worked that situation out there like real calmly as adults, but I snapped. You feel me? And I let them know, like, don't ever, you feel me? You know what I mean? Check your kid. My daughter don't bother nobody. I don't want nobody bothering her, because then I'm going to bother y'all. You feel me? And I realized after that happened, like, I could have handled that better. So that's something when it comes to parenting, like, check my temperature before,
Yeah, that is important, because I mean, we all know tempers can land you in the worst of places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can be dead or in jail messing around with a bad temper. So yeah, I mean, one of my cousins or a group of my cousins lost their dad because of that.
Mm-hmm.
His temper was always on 10, and somebody made him pay the price for that. And you always have those situations where you regret what you say or regret what you do, and sometimes you can't come back from that.
Can't
come back from that.
Yeah. Hi, what's up? Join the conversation, my brother.
Man, I've been backstage for like a half hour.
I know.
This joint was killing me. I was logging in on the phone. I'm logging in on the tablet. I'm hitting and missing the conversation because I got one AirPod in, one regular headphone in. My bad, y'all. Shout out to Sonny though. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was trying to make sure I was here tonight, because I knew Sonny wasn't showing up for work.
Right.
HR problem.
Copy that. All right, so I'm gonna kind of just jump into what Smooth is talking about right there. So my daughter this year, this is like the kids' first full year back together, where it ain't just completely weird. It's just semi-weird. So her class this year been a lot of the girls and the boys just all year.
Mhm.
And like Smooth is saying, I get the phone call about the little boy pushes my daughter. He broke her glasses. So when I get this phone call, obviously I'm steam out of my ears. But like Smooth is saying, I always try to think like you gotta think before you just do shit. Cause I'm gonna go down to this school and what I'm gonna do? Beat up this little boy? He's 9. He's 8. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
He
Nine
failed.
times out of 10 when we had these problems, and it's
I think
like
it might be
he got a
time, baby.
dad, no. She got a dad, no. All right, now I'm even madder because now it's nobody for me to talk to here. I don't want to talk to nobody's mom because I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I know
Exactly.
I know where this is going to go. The principal is usually the one who gets the smoke though, because she just don't want to shut up. Like she want to tell us what she can and can't do with these kids, and it's like, don't you know? Like when we had her, you wasn't there. Like, so you have no input. We didn't ask you nothing about this. So
Right.
like, yeah, you always gotta be like they're watching and paying attention, and how I react in this situation is going to then give them the leeway to react that same way in this situation. And then when they call you and say your daughter hit the lid, you can't be like, well, no, you can't be doing that. Well, Dad, last weekend when you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
regardless of what the situation is, now we gonna have a conversation about you put your hands on my daughter. Cause like she had 2 or 3 of these incidents, and I told him, look, we're not having a fourth one of these. If we have a fourth one of these, y'all got problems because y'all don't want to have me to have to come the fuck up here.
Right.
And that's just that. Now, I know the conversation we were having was all about your setbacks and all of that. How did you bounce back from the situation?
Right. Right.
Do I have a story for you? So I get married 2016. Um, I got engaged in March and married in July. So my wedding was all me. I got some money from the in-laws for like some food and a cake. The rest of it was me. I can't expect to ask you to do no. I can't go to my mom and say, "Hey, I need this, that, or whatever." We get married in a couple of months. The reason why I wanted to do it like that is because you gonna argue about what the tablecloths look like, and you gonna ask me right now what the tablecloths look like. I have no idea. What did the centerpieces look like? I have no idea. Who sat with who? I have no idea. None of that shit matters. The stuff that matters is, are y'all gonna really be married? Do y'all really love each other? Are we really building a foundation?
Right.
That's the part that matters.
Right.
So for me, it was like we cut all of that out if we only got a couple of months to do this. You don't have no time to argue about the BS. Now, in the midst of that, my brother has an accident. He breaks his elbow and his back. One of my groomsmen gets killed the same day my brother has that accident. This is one of my day one homies gets killed that same day.
Oh damn.
So now I'm even on the tip like I really don't even want to do this. But then it's also the same tip. It's like, well, you never know if you don't do this, what the hell is going to happen.
True.
End up spending thousands of dollars on the wedding, and now the bills come. The bills are like $1,200 more than I'm making a month. I paid one bill late in like that probably like 2 year span that we had, like shit was that tight. I think I paid one bill like Monday and it was due Friday.
Oh wow.
Just that's why my shit is all called How to Hustles, because I'm a hustler. I find a way to make a way. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like you could either cry over this spilt milk or you could just get the napkins, the paper towels, the you know what I'm saying, the dryer sheets, and we gonna get this shit up.
The dryer. I've tried to wipe up something with a dryer sheet. It don't work. This shit don't work.
I'm telling you, it didn't, but it bought me 2 more seconds to hit them paper towels.
True that.
So yeah, the how I got through that shit was just every night when I got in the house, I looked at it was just my one daughter at that time. I looked at that little girl and I looked at my wife and I knew they can't have the stress of this situation. This shit is my problem to fix. Even though yeah, you're a team and all of that, copy, but this shit is for me to fix because I put us in this situation because I said let's get married in X amount of months so that we don't have to deal with this shit.
Right.
So yeah, the way that I got out of that was just say, listen, we're gonna find a way to make a way.
Right.
Speaking of tempers,
Oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
you say?
I was saying, speaking of tempers, I'm not sure. I think I told the story before about beginning of the school year. I went up to the school the second day because they put my daughter on the wrong bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't ride the bus, so that's strike 2 and 3 right there.
He's like on the wrong bus. See, they put on a bus in general.
They put her on
That's
the bus.
already messed up.
It was just my wife. She was a calm one. I mean, she was a trooper. She kept it together. But I went up to the school the next day. I prayed, like, please let me keep my senses because I'm taking my kids to school. They don't need to see their daddy going away in handcuffs.
Right.
Because like it could have went so differently. Like, how are we gonna prevent this to happen again? Because
That's crazy. My brother got stuck on a bus like that when he was young. Fell asleep on a school trip, and they got all off the bus, left the bus till wherever the fuck the bus goes. My mom rides up to wherever the bus goes and says, "Open the bus, and let me see." His ass is in there curled up in the back.
Wow.
That happened to Zay, Sonny's son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to him too.
Yeah.
It sounds like no more class trips, man.
Keela was earlier. She was talking about something she wants to work on is learn how to run. And unfortunately, I think I did chuckle, and I apologize, Keela. I didn't take that as serious as I realized it now. Like you said, so for some reason she says that people laugh when she says that, but she really wants to learn how to run because she just doesn't know. I guess doesn't know how to do it. She says that for some reason the motivation is just not there though. She's tried so many things to get motivated, so maybe that is a setback as well. Currently struggling with is getting into running. And definitely, Keela, if you want to get some running in, come holler at me. I got you. We'll get you.
I thought it was running from a situation.
Huh?
I thought that was like run from a situation. I didn't know she would actually run.
Oh yeah, I guess I got her. And then she said that another setback or another issue she has is always playing it safe and preparing for the worst too much because it makes her not like to take risk or gamble. And the thing is,
that, girl, that's me all day
sometimes you
long.
do need to take risks. Sometimes you do need to be able to gamble on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And especially when you do things like go out and get a business started or in a hustle, you know, you want to be able to take that risk. And if you're playing it safe too much, you can miss opportunities. You can miss chances for your life to get, the life to get better or to be at a different level. And sometimes some of those chances doesn't even have to be something where it's like you're going to lose per se, but it may be the chance of that you take that you have to just be brave about or you have to be courageous about, because I've had those situations where it's like, man, I don't know what these people are going to say. I don't know what these people are going to do, but I'm just going to take the chance and get in front of them and just try to sell it, try to sell myself, sell my services or sell my skills or whatever the case may be so that I can get this opportunity, and if we don't take those chances, what's the sports term? You miss every shot you don't take. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we always have to keep in mind as an adult is that if you want either better in life or different in life, sometimes you got to take that chance, be courageous, be brave, and do it.
One thing I've learned in adulthood is failure isn't always a bad thing.
Exactly. Yes.
I think sometimes I know what set me back a lot was being afraid to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because being afraid to fail rob you of a learning experience that you may need to propel you forward. Sometimes like you know how the saying go, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And sometimes we need those lessons to improve. They say hardship sometimes builds character. To the point where she say running, it's hard. It's difficult for her. But just going out there, putting yourself out there and doing it, even if you just run 10 yards, full
Mhm.
speed, do it. Just do it. You know,
Right.
see how your body reacts to it. You know, boom, do it again. See how your body reacts to it.
Mhm.
See how your mind react to it. See how it makes you feel. You know, but don't be scared. And that was another thing, because what she's saying is real, bro. You know,
Mhm.
like people may be laughing. It's a lot of adults out here that are scared to go exercise or work out and fear how other people may look at them.
Yeah, true that.
View
True that.
that's a real thing, a very real thing. I've even experienced it. So sometimes you just got to do it. They going fuck them if they laugh at you. You
Right.
feel you're not doing it for them anyway. You're doing it for
Let
you.
me in real quick. So I got a couple of things to what we talking about here. As a full-time hustler myself, I would tell you this from my experience, and I learned this from my mom and dad having two restaurants when I was younger. My dad, the whole family did construction. Like I said about my brother earlier, I heard on a construction site. Uh, my mom told my dad then, don't quit the job because you keeping the construction job is good money, and that way we still got the bread to pay for the house. If we using the store money to pay for the store and the house, that kind of puts us behind the eight ball.
Mhm.
Just because you start a business, you could believe in it wholeheartedly and all of that. But if you have something that keeps a steady stream of money, especially once you're at a point where you got people looking at you and depending on you, don't quit that steady stream of money chasing your dream. You can chase your dream and keep this steady stream of money going. Now you're gonna get to a certain point if things are progressing the right way, where it's like, all right, you got to make a choice either to go out on this limb or stick with what you know. Then that's
Mhm.
different. But you
Right.
don't start a business in week 2. You like, fuck my job I've been at for 12. Like, I'm selling T-shirts on the side of the highway. Like, no, don't do that. And another thing that you're saying. So for me, like I told y'all last week, I was caught up at work. I couldn't get on the show. The Roots Picnic is one of the
Oh
big
yeah.
festivals that goes
Blues
on.
Festival. Yeah.
I was working the Roots Picnic. I'm backstage at the gate where everybody who's coming in the door got to come through this gate. The only people who didn't come through the gate was Mary J, Rick Ross, Kurt Franklin, Summer Walker. Everybody else came through that gate. 2 bags of wristbands. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. This is the last adult size wristband that I have. I only had 2 left, and I gave somebody else the other one the other day.
Mhm.
Put me in a position right here now, like you said, you got a dream, you believe in it type thing, and I will shoot at everybody moving. Because what are they going to tell you? No, like
Right.
what's the worst that they going to say? It's just like when you was out at the club and you shot at 5 chicks and they all shot you down. You didn't now not go at number 6 because you got shot down by them. You just said, "Hey, fuck
I
her.
do.
I know I look good tonight." Like, so it's I'm one of them people, like she said, casinos and stocks and all that. I'm like, man, listen, I'm working too hard to be giving this shit away for somebody. I wake up one day and the dollar's down 20%. I am pissed. Like,
Believe me, I'm pissed right now.
Yeah, y'all tell them, man. Listen, man.
Everything down. Dow,
Everything,
NASDAQ,
everything. Yeah.
crypto, everything down. But when it come back
Mostly,
up, I'm on the come up, baby.
So
But
Keela,
yeah, I mean,
Keela said,
and there's so many things that we learn
big
in
shout out
life.
to Keela though too. Keela got the comments popping.
Right, right. She said she had to learn what narcissism was as well, and I think a lot of people have gone through that. But I think that too. Some of the things that I've also learned is just in general, like different life lessons, things that like we just was talking about. Procrastination kills, right? That was one thing I had to learn, and I always take response. I try to take accountability for my actions or my inaction, and I call it the procrastination tax. And if I'm
I
going to keep
got
the
something for that.
procrastination tax down, I got to do what's right. Do what's right on time, do what's right in the moment, do what's right when it needs to be done, versus putting it off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now I cringe when I know the procrastination tax is coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I already got this like literal physical like like I don't want to feel this physically because it makes me that angry at myself. Like, no, I cannot do this. I can't be sitting here like, okay, I got this to do. I'm just gonna put it off. I'm just gonna put it off. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that procrastination tax is coming. One way or another, it's gonna be a loss of an opportunity, loss of money, loss of whatever it may be, loss of a relationship, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
Willie,
you always
look.
have to keep that in mind.
This is a trick that I got for that because this is one of those things I never try to procrastinate. Always ask yourself, what's the argument against me doing whatever it is? Me and Smooth was having this conversation when we was talking about Islam. And Smooth was like, I feel like I'm not the perfect Muslim. And I told him, nobody's perfect. Striving for perfection is just stupid because all you're going to do is make yourself upset that you're falling short.
Yeah,
but how I got myself to a point where I make all 5 salats every day was, what's the argument against you making them? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If it's only going to take me to do 7 minutes 5 different times out of the day, what's the argument? If you saying like you talking about with the IT situation, if I got a company and I think that this might be a good fit, but now I'm kind of leery as that should I go at this person? What's the argument against me going at this person? Now it might be a situation where it's like the time just ain't right. I don't have it all set up yet. If it's that reason, then that's cool. But if the reason is just because I don't know, then you just fucking yourself up. Like you said, I'm losing on the opportunity or something that could be beneficial for me, and I'm standing in my own way. It's one of them things like I kind of recently learned where the loudest voice you will ever hear is the one in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck what the world is saying. Like Smooth is saying, you trying to work out and you worrying about everybody else. The voice in your head is telling you don't do that.
Right.
Because that's how you got to hearing Willie said this, Dame said that, Hype said this, Smooth said, like, that's how you started hearing all of this because that shit was already going on right here.
Exactly.
Well, guys, part of adulting is knowing to quit. So I want to call it a night because I gotta get up early in the morning. So.
Oh, okay, bro. Yeah, appreciate you. Look, tell the folks where they can find you at, and we'll catch up with you.
Nope. No. Okay. You can find me at another level up on Instagram. You can find me at Agent D-Lo on Xbox Network, and thank you, Shinlo21 on Twitch.
I was about to say, read the bottom of the screen.
So part of the document, I'm out.
All right, Dame. So yeah, another thing I was thinking about, like I was saying earlier, is that I had to learn how to save money better. You know what I'm saying? I was always, living check to check or always having to struggle. And then when I finally did get some money, I didn't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Between not knowing how to invest or not knowing how to best, allocate my money so that it benefited me in some kind of way, I ended up losing out on that. You know what I'm saying? And so one trick that I did learn, and I always tell people about this, I tell my kids now, like, look, don't wait till don't wait like I did to learn this lesson or learn this strategy. It's a strategy. And you see all kinds of saving strategies out there on the internet now, but this one actually works. Most people get direct deposit. For the most part, most people get direct deposit. Now, if you don't get direct deposit, you're going to have to use what they call the envelope method. But what I use is is a method where I take part of my direct deposit and I send it to an account, preferably offshore. No, I send it to an account, but it's an account that's not at the same bank that I normally bank at, or it's not in the same accounts that I normally draw money from, like for my bills or for my day-to-day money. I have a whole separate account just set up where, it could be 25. I tell everybody, start with $25. See how that affects you. More than likely, you're not going to miss $25. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to miss $25 out your check. And because it's in that account that you don't normally use, you don't see it. So just like they direct deposit out, or not direct deposit, they what they call it, they withhold your taxes and they withhold your 401k if you got that. They withhold your health and dental and all that kind of stuff.
All of that type
withhold money to save. Put it in an account that you can't touch. Don't have a debit card or ATM card for it. Don't make sure that it's set up where you have to deliberately get in there, not by mistake get in there, but deliberately get in there and get your money out. So I normally have so much money going there. Like I said, I actually started off with $25. I increased it over time. Don't worry, this is just lightning behind me. But it's
I'm about to say, nigga, they coming to get you.
I know, right? That's what I thought too. At first, I was like, "Wait, what the? Oh no, it's lightning." So over time, I increased the amount, but if you start off with $25 or $50, you'll be surprised how much money you have at the end of the year. You'll be surprised how much you save and not notice what you save. You build your nest egg that way. You build your emergency fund that way. You build. I'm currently building a vacation fund, so that's where my
Vacation
timeshare gets
fund,
paid
Willie.
out of it. My vacation money comes out of that, so it's a way for me to build that without affecting my bills, without affecting my lifestyle, without affecting any of that stuff, because I don't see it. I don't think about it. When I do think about it, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that account. Let me go look and see how much. Oh shoot, look how much I got in there today. Like I normally just go and double check it closer to the end of the year because I got to pay this big lump sum for one of my vacation homes. But it's like when you have your money all together, it's so easy to end up spending it. You know what I mean? And I tried to, I'm gonna set up a savings account, but you looking at that money when you looking at your checking account. Now next thing you know, you transferring it over there because you're like, well, I really want to go buy such and such, or I really want to go to the club tonight, or you know what I'm saying? So
that's the problem. It'd be that lack of discipline, like you just said.
Don't see it, let it build.
That lack of discipline, like you just saying right there. Yeah, you got the savings and the checking, but every time you go to checking and you go, damn, you don't have that $4,000 that's in savings. That money is not real. You gotta act like that shit is not even there. Like, unless it's a tire explodes or something major happens, that money ain't there.
Well, the problem I used to have was because the direct deposit was going into the one account, it'd be those weeks where I'd be like, I can't really afford to put the savings in today. I'll put it in later, and then later never comes. You know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, another paycheck done hit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's always was the struggle for me. That's still discipline, like you said, but it's also, it's too easy to get distracted. That's how I look at it. It's so way too easy to get distracted.
They have a definite purpose. A lot of people they don't have a definite purpose for what they're doing. They're just trying something out. Just throwing something at the wall, hoping it stick. You feel me? When you got a definite purpose of why you saving this money, like you said, you need the emergency fund. You need a vacation fund. You need the college fund for the kids.
Retirement fund.
The retirement fund. Like, so when you have those definite purposes in mind, you feel me? You won't miss it. You won't miss it because you know it's going to the right places. You feel me? And then like the key thing to what you said is priorities. Sometimes, we sit here talking about being an adult, and sometimes we let our priorities get out of order, so to speak. We let those impulses take over. Those chasing those low desires. They talk about the Quran. You feel me? Following your low desires. It gets you in a fucked up place, to be quite honest. So if you have a definite purpose, it makes it easier. You feel me? Have your priorities in order, and go from there. Build off that.
For sure. Another thing I had to learn early on was you can't trust everybody. Can't trust everybody, and sometimes you can't give everybody the benefit of the doubt either. It's like sometimes you got to give people the benefit of the doubt because can't get into certain situations without doing that. But for the most part, you just can't trust everybody. I know as a kid and even as a teenager, I made that mistake where I just felt like everybody was my friend or everybody was looking out for my best interest because I was a good person, right? And a lot of times people take advantage of that. A lot of times people take advantage of the either your naivety or the situation that you're in, and you may be down and out, so you're desperate and you're thinking like, oh, I can trust this person to take care of this because blah blah blah. But sometimes you gotta realize that people are gonna be people sometimes.
Hey, bro, I was doing that episode yesterday, but My man is a barber. He had a couple heads to cut, so we missed that time to record it. But we was actually recording that exact episode yesterday, where that was what we was going to talk about. So, damn, that's
okay.
crazy.
Mhm.
Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, but that's a lesson that I think a lot of us learn, you know, after we get burnt
That
a
we
couple
ho-
of times. You know what I'm
that we
saying?
hopefully learn.
Hey, hopefully
That's
learn. Yeah, true that.
hopefully learn.
True that. True that. Yeah, because sometimes some people let that lesson go over their head. You know, they continue to make that same mistake. You know,
You just
they
keep
let that
making the excuse
negativity
that that's
get
your,
ahead of them.
because you keep making the excuse that that's your cousin or that's your man or
Yeah,
that's your brother, your sister,
and
or
that's a big one. You know, that's a big one. Family and friends. You know, not to say that you can't trust all of them, but you also have to think about motives and benefits. You know, one thing I had to learn. This is something else I just recently learned. Now, this is something I recently. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my mid 40s, and I had to learn this. Is that not all good friendships and not all friendships and not all family relationships are good or good for you. You know, sometimes you got to realize when it's time to cut that off. You know, I never really, I thought that I knew or I thought that I agreed with there's a reason in a season for everybody, but to actually put that in practice was something I had never done, you know, and so to be able to see the need to do that was something that was big for me and it was life changing basically. You know, it was something that I had to it was hard, but it was also like a relief. You know, just like you lift a liftment off of you. You know what I'm saying?
the crazy
I'm
part
gonna be
about it
honest
is
with
we
you.
don't.
I never had that issue. like I'm telling you, like I really, you got one time to burn me, beloved. Uh, our relationship will never be the same. That don't mean I'm gonna lose love for you, or like you, or even dislike you. But the parameters of our relationship will never be the same. And if it's depending on what it is, if it's severe, always mention that Joe Button line. Uh, history, relationships are never a threat because I erase the history and act like we never met. You know what I mean? Just like that, bro. Like, trust me. You know what I mean? Some people over my lifetime like Clint, that ain't healthy. I'm like, for me, it is. You feel me? Because I love hard, bro. You know, so if I got love for you and you betray that love, like I'm gonna feel some type of way. It'll never be the same with me again because I know my shit genuine. You feel me? You feel me? I ain't got time to be sitting over here being phony for what? I just wasn't raised like that. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So you gonna know if you saying some shit that I don't like, I can't. My facial is going. I can't even hide it. You feel me?
Right.
So I don't do that with my relationships at all. I'm like, that's why I respect honesty. I like, you know what I mean? I like salt over sugar. You know what I mean? Don't sweet talk me. I don't need you to sweet talk me.
Right. And see, yeah, that was my problem. I always let people sweet talk me, especially. And it wasn't like like I wouldn't say that when I was a young adult, I was into the everybody was my friend situation, but I did give a lot of people more benefit of the doubt than they probably should have deserved. And I definitely trusted people way more than they, than I should have without double checking, checking their Carfax, right? Or checking their references, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's something I see people do even into their 30s and 40s and 50s, is that they don't realize that they got to sometimes double check or at least be skeptical, be at least a little skeptical for your own safety. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when we're younger, we are invincible. You know what I'm saying? We feel invincible. We feel like everybody, we could take everything with a grain of salt and everything will be cool. But as you get older, you start to realize, like, dang, I got to be more. What's the word? I just escaped me.
You got self-preservation. I know that ain't the word.
Yeah, self-preservation too. Self-preservation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a word I'm trying to think of. You got to have discernment. That's the word I want to say.
Yeah.
You need to have discernment. You got to think through what is their motivation and what's your benefit, and do they line up sometimes, or what's their motivation, and how would you handle the detriment of failure in this situation, or the detriment of betrayal in this situation? Because if they're getting a benefit, regardless if you win or lose, there's a problem there. You know what I'm saying? So, that was something that I never understood, or not never, but I didn't understand for a long time until I was like in my like mid 20s, no, like probably in my late 20s. Going into my 30s, I didn't realize that until I went through so many things. I was like, dang, sometimes people will say something and do something, especially when you're in business. That's hard. It's like you try to do these business opportunities, or you try to do these partnerships, or you try to, and then people are like taking advantage because, it benefits them. They don't care. And you're giving them the benefit out because you want to win. You're thinking like, oh, I can see the win-win in this, but it can happen with getting a regular job, because I know. So I just talked to this person recently, and they 45 years old, just like me. And they were like, yeah, they went into a job, literally didn't double check or didn't ask the right questions, and got into a position they didn't want. You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes you can't just trust, a job description said this, that's the real job. You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask the right questions. You got to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying?
So for me with this situation, it was like Smooth said in a relationship situation earlier, where I don't know what I don't know about that. So I'm not even equipped with that. I'm not even equipped with whatever that hole might be, because that's not what I ever grew up with. So now you turn that around to these friendships and relationships, is we not all in it for the same reasons. Some people are just natural givers, some people are natural users. And for me, I got like I was always really the youngest, but I got like the protection mentality, the big brother mentality of if something happened and it's on me for letting it happen. So those different situations, like Smooth is saying, you got one time to cross me, and yeah, I'm cool. But the best shit that you can ever hear me say to you is, I got you. Because if I tell you I got you, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Now, once you break that glass, the glass is broken, and we can still walk over this glass, but we're going to cut our feet because the glass is broken. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Smooth said, I don't know how to half do anything. I'm all the way in with anything that I'm doing. That's why I try not to involve myself in too much of other people's shit, because I know if I get involved in your shit, then I'm not gonna half step it. I'm gonna treat it like it's mine. I'm gonna carry it like it's mine. And then I'm gonna look at you like, well, what the fuck is you doing? If this is your shit, why the fuck am I doing harder for your shit than you are?
Exactly.
So those different it's those different personality traits. It's those different things where somebody might not have even been shown like what brotherhood, with friendship, or what that even looks like. For me, my dad was holding his homies down my entire life. Till the day my dad died, he was holding his homies down that was booked. So for me, when a nigga goes to jail, that's what you're supposed to do, because that's what I saw. If you never saw that, then you wouldn't understand that, and you wouldn't be able to do that. Like my cousin asked me, like, why the fuck is you always doing this shit for niggas in jail? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. What you mean? That shit, man. Nigga fall, and it take $3 to send him 10 pictures. You and a nigga wasn't cool enough to send $3, like 10 pictures. If Smooth falls today, 3 months from now, I can spend $6 on a nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know these 20 pictures, he gonna go, damn, these Jones just made his whole month. You know what I'm saying? But it's just different. It's just different ways that everybody looks at shit. And it takes trial and error for there. Once I got to the point where it was like, look, cuz I'm married, I got kids, I got a wife, I can't be doing this shit for you, because if I'm doing this for you, this shit is taking it away from them. And it's one thing we're not gonna do. We're not gonna make my mom uncomfortable. We're not gonna make my kids and my wife uncomfortable. If we get to a state where they need something and I can't do it because you fucked up, nigga, we got a problem. Okay? Because these four women over here, I don't play these games with these 4 people over here. Okay?
And that's one thing. That's one thing I had to learn.
You involve any dumb shit in them, we got issues.
That's one thing I had to learn. As far as growing up, is like I said, I love hard, bro. So if I go all in, like Hank was just saying, I'm all in. But I noticed And like you said, through trial and error,
we ain't all in. Yeah.
we ain't all in. So that energy won't be reciprocated. So once I learned that, you feel me, who I can who that energy can be reciprocated with, that's when I know my circle, as far as my inner circle, my closest friends, got smaller. You feel me? It got smaller because most dudes was just hanger-ons, bro. They was just around to be around. You feel me? Because the vibe was good. You feel me? You know, I've had dudes come get me, right? And put me in situations without knowing the whole story. But you know what? Just my man's. And I'm in a situation to where my life might be on the line. To where if I need some assistance in a certain situation that's not even that drastic as the situation you had me in, and you can't reciprocate that energy. Oh, so
I can't get you to lift the other end of the couch because I'm moving.
my nigga,
Right.
exactly. Like,
Right,
come
exactly.
on. I mean, my car break down. I can't call you to come pick me up. You feel me? If my car break down, I can't call you, bro. My car broke down. Can you come get me real quick? Just so I can, and I go handle the rest by myself. I can't even get you to do that. Then like, nah, bro. Like, nah, I mean, what
Bro,
do we do?
we had a song with a saying in it. If one move, then we all move. You ain't down, fuck you.
Right.
When we was young, that was just how niggas was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And reflect and look at them situations now and be like, this is why I got no circles and all that shit. Like I'm saying, my whole thing be, if I go around here with you and I'm the one that get locked up, are you gonna do anything for my wife and my kids? Can I call you and say, yo, my car needs some sneaks for this, that, or whatever. I need you to go grab an outfit or whatever because I'm that homie. My oldest daughter, her goddad, when he fell, he told me I need you to take care of my son. That's go talk to him at the school because he cutting up. That's he needs some cleats. He needs somebody to come to his game. He need anything, I got him because that's my man. Certain niggas, I feel like if I end up in a situation where I gotta sit down, they gonna go take care of them. I got about 2 of them who I think them 2 niggas will be there.
Right.
Everybody else, you like Smooth say, you had a whole wide range of niggas that you would do shit for, and then you realize I can't get you to lift the other end of the couch. You got me with 2 felonies in my back pocket or on my hip, or nah. Gotta fall back off those guys. They just around, like you said, they just around because they're around.
Right, right. The one of the other things that I've learned, and we just kind of touched on it earlier too, was that burning bridges. Like, try not to burn bridges. You given opportunities to do things, or you promise to do certain things, then try to take care of your business. Try to be conscious of the fact that if you give your word, that's all you got, really. You know what I'm saying? And if some people can't trust you, they won't look to either give you the next opportunity, or you might miss out on a blessing, whatever the case may be. And sometimes a burnt bridge can affect somebody close to you too, because a lot of times, somebody, you might tell somebody, or somebody might say, hey, can you recommend somebody to me, or can you do this for me, or whatever the case may be, and they're not going to trust you with that, and now you can't help the next person in your life or in your situation.
So I said on last week's episode, you don't know nobody who got nothing bad to say about me. If you ever met somebody that got something bad to say about me, that nigga don't know me, because your word is everything. My word means everything to me, which is why I don't give it to very many people.
Yes,
if I tell you,
I'm the same way. I don't make any promise I know I can't keep.
I can't tell you how many times, like, I've been in a position where 14 of my friends is in jail, and I'm sitting at the table with 140 pictures, 14 envelopes going, these 2 niggas is in the same jail, so let's not send them the same joints. But if I told you, all right, yeah, I'm gonna send you $100 on Thursday, whether that's the only $100 I got, if I only got 90, if whatever is the situation, I'm on the street and can figure it out. I can make something happen. But I told you I was doing that. If I told you I was coming, I'm coming. If I tell you anything, then you take that to the bank. That's why I said you don't know a nigga who got nothing negative to say about me, because that nigga don't know me if he got it to say about me.
Right.
Everything that I ever tell you that I am, I'm going to show and prove it. I'm not just going to talk to you and tell you that shit.
And what I learned is it's a group of niggas that like they don't. Keela brought up the word earlier, narcissism.
Mhm.
They don't realize some of the sacrifices you made for them, the times you stuck by them when nobody else did.
Yep.
Just shit like that. And it's like, you know, for me, those are situations that hurt the worst to me.
Mhm.
It's like,
Mhm.
you know, I did that out of genuine love. Even if it's, you feel me, nigga, I came, sat with you when your lights was out, my nigga.
Right.
You feel me? To keep,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? To keep your spirits up. You know what I mean? Like, I had shit going through the worst of times in my life. But I'm sitting here motivating you. You feel me? And I can't even get that in return. Bro, you mentioned when I got you brought up when I got sick, you know,
Right.
earlier. Man, coming to visit me at the hospital that one time, that's for you. That's why, like, I've been in the hospital so many times, bro. Like, I don't even tell people all the time no more. You feel me? When I go, because a lot of times I've seen it. Like, they're not coming for me. They never came for me. Only a few. A lot of times they came for them, just so they can say they came. You feel me? But when I come home and it's recovery time, and I still need, you know, I ask a nigga, bro, I just need somebody to come work out with me, walk with me when you got time, help motivate me. They never show up, and then you hear them, oh, they doing workouts with such and such and such and such, and you like, damn, nigga, I just asked you to walk with me around the lap a couple times.
Right. Right.
You feel me? And you couldn't do that. Like nah, bro. Like nah. You gotta. It's tricky, but you gotta notice the fake love. Like I learned that early on. I'm like, man, this nigga only came up here just to say he came up, just so he could tell people he came to see me. You feel me? But when I really needed somebody, and I ain't not asking for no money, not act just some real support, bro. Help me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Help me. Like I ain't ask you to go out your way to do nothing that's gonna hurt you or set you back, nigga. I'll walk. You feel me?
Right. Right.
That was so hard to get a motherfucker to go walk with me, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Man.
Yeah.
This is just like when you say like somebody dies, and it's like, I'm gonna use myself for example. Don't put nobody else in that situation. One of my kids dies, and you say, "Damn, you go see cuz." Nah, like, you know, I don't really like funerals. I don't like when people die. Nobody but the Undertaker likes when somebody dies.
Right.
But
Exactly.
it's not about you and do you like it and are you comfortable in the situation. It's about being there for the person. I might not say shit, because please don't ask me, am I all right? I hate when people do that. My dad died. You all right? No, I'm not all right, and I don't want to talk about it. Once I kept saying that to people, they're like, I don't really know how to react or what to say to that. That's why I always tell people, you lose a parent, somebody asks you, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not all right, and I don't want to talk about it. It shuts everybody down because they just want you to go, I'm cool. Like, yeah, you know, cuz gonna break down. Nah, but it's about you just being there. My man has cancer. I see his sister, and I ask her, damn, what's up with bro? Her face goes white. What's up? Oh, you don't know. He been in the hospital for X amount of weeks, and he got cancer. He got a mass on his chest, fucking this big. Him and his wife arguing for months about she keep hitting him every night. This nigga is stopping breathing and she's punching him to wake him up every night. He don't know though. I'm at the hospital so much. I gave his wife my car and told her, "You take my car so that you can get the fuck up here with the kids." I'm never posting this shit talking about, nah, I'm up here with my man and none of that. That's what you're supposed to do. If you genuinely fuck with this person and you genuinely love this person, like we use this as an example. When you just got sick a couple months ago, Smooth, we just met a year ago. 3-4 days later, though, hey, bro, you good? Just checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. When I found out about Dame's situation, hey, Dame, you good? When Sonny puts in the joint, yo, is you good? I texted her. She called me the other day. We did an episode yesterday about we was going to do this episode last week, but I had to work. And I said, no, I wasn't even messing with you because I know you had a situation with your son. But she like, no, it's cool. Like, I appreciate it, but you ain't even got to worry about it. Because like I said, if I tell you I got you, I genuinely mean that shit. And I absolutely hate the fact that people do shit like that. Like, you know, this is supposed to be your man, this is your brother, and this is all of that. And this nigga just said, I need you to walk with me around a fucking corner. Nigga, we walking. Like, I can't be here every day, but shit, Monday and Thursday, I'm here. Saturday and Wednesday, I'll be here. Like, at some point, we're going to figure it the fuck out. Like, I'm not going to leave my man out to dry by his fucking self. Because that's still that same, though. If one move, if you fucked up, we fucked up. And we going to figure this shit out together.
Right.
And like you said, people don't look at it that same way. That when you end up in that situation, niggas ain't looking at it like we fucked up and we gonna figure it out together. Like you just said, I'm sitting in the dark with a nigga because his lights is off. My man loses his dad. Me and my mom sit up in the house all night with him and his folks. Cause that's what you supposed to fucking do if you really fuck with people like that. But niggas don't really be having that same genuine love. It'd be like a one-sided type situation. When you need a nigga to grab the other end of that couch, you know, my son's sick. You know, my daughter, man, she got hit by a bus last week.
Right.
Everything in the world is wrong for a nigga to get up 2 flights of steps with you.
Well, you know that
sad.
what I thought you was about to say, but it's still on the same tip. Is about how, like, you know, people will say, "Oh man, you know, I'm sorry for whatever," and they'll be like, you know, let me know if anything I can do. You know, as soon as you be like, well, you know, if you can come through, they'll be like, oh well, man, you know, actually I got blah blah blah. You be like, thought you just said.
So funny you brought that up, because see, I hate the fake shit that people do like that. When my dad dies, I go to work the day he died, they send me home. Tell me, nah, look, you can't, like, take a couple days off. So when niggas start hitting me with the, oh, if there's anything you need me to do, I ain't been to work the last couple days, I need some help with this rent. Like, my cousin dies, she has 3 kids, they all like fucking under 10. And I grab them at the cemetery and tell them, for the next couple hours of this repast, everybody gonna hit y'all with the if you need me to do anything bullshit. If they don't show up next week, if they don't show up in the next couple days, it's bullshit. All right? Do not believe them. Because when they called me 2 days later and said they was hungry, I showed up with a pizza. When they called me 2 months later and told me that they needed clothes, I took them all fucking shopping. So I hate the, if you need me to do anything, all right, nigga, well, look, I've been out of work for a month. You know what I'm saying? I need a couple dollars to help out with these bills. I just need somebody to talk to. I just want to watch the game. You can't even get a nigga to do that. So don't hit me with the, yo, man, if you need anything, I need about $8,000 because I'm fucked up.
That's how it comes.
Right. Well, I think we've given them all the ins and outs of adulting. People know adulting's hard, and hopefully we gave them some tips and some tricks to maneuver through it, as well as some insight. You know, because you know that's the other thing that I've had to learn too. We're not in this alone, and we're not the first to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's another thing people have to learn is that you gotta ask questions. You gotta ask your friends. You gotta ask your family. You gotta ask people you trust. Like, hey, how did you get through this? Or how did you go about making this happen? You know, what was something that you learned from this experience so that you're not lost? You know what I'm saying? I think that's the one thing. And I've been trying to teach my kids this. It's been a little challenging with one of my daughters is trying to get her to understand you're not alone in this world. You know what I'm saying? As long as you want to feel, you're not alone. You know, as much as you think that you're, facing these challenges with no support or with minimal support, or you're just trying to figure it out on your own, don't do that. Figure out how to get the help you need, because there's people out here that can help, and there's people out here who are willing to give you a good tip or a good life lesson or a good way of getting around whatever you're getting through.
It's people out here got your best interests at heart,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be gravitating towards them people versus your goofy ass friend who's just looking to come over because they know you got a bottle of Henny and a bottle of Goose.
Right, for sure. Well, that's our show tonight, folks. Make sure y'all check out all of our shows. I just ran them through the banners. We ran through them this earlier in the episode, so make sure y'all check out all our shows. Tomorrow, Hype's episode 68 will be playing on YouTube at 2 p.m. I'll be back on Wednesday for the Styles and Chevy recap. We're going to be doing Miss Marvel. On Sunday, we might have a special episode of The Fans Perspective, and make sure y'all get with me and Dame for a brand new a premiere episode of our brand new show, One Crazy Month, presented by Styles and Dame. So make sure you guys get at us this week. We got tons of content for you, so make sure you check that out.
Let me say this before we go, y'all. Shout out to my man Quill. I had on episode 68. Bro started a Let Us Help Us basketball league. It's a free basketball camp for kids between the ages of 5 and 17, girls and boys. He's doing it all summer. Starting this Saturday on the 18th. They do swimming. They go on trips. They got all kinds of shit. Quill broke all of that down in the episode. But big shout out to Quill for actually getting off his ass and doing that shit.
That's in the Philly area?
Yes, sir. South Philly. Mary Anderson is, what is that, like 17th Street?
All right, 17th Street, South Philly. Make sure y'all get at them.
Big shout out to Quill for that.
Let them know where they can find you as well.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not Hype. I'm not geeked up. Episode 68 is available right now on all streaming platforms, and tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. on the GFT Radio Network.
That's what's up. Smooth.
You already know it's your boy Smooth. You can holler at me all the goddamn time on Twitter at eTrentonGroovy. Visit my blog at kingstruth.com. On Snap at King's Truth. Willie already mentioned we're gonna have a special episode of The Fans Perspective. I know y'all see me looking away a lot.
Joe, chill. I'm about to go watch the second half. Don't say nothing. Second half. Don't say nothing.
You got it on DVR?
Yes, sir.
All right. You already know. But y'all know what I was doing. So y'all already know Sunday. That's why we're doing a special episode. All right, for sure.
Well, it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. You can find me over at Gaming with Styles. Find me playing games over at gamingwithstyles.com various times throughout the month. Or visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. Make sure y'all go check out that new Lobby Boys with Jim Jones, Joel Santana, and the rest of their crew. Definitely a hot album. Or get at me at williestyles.info for all my links.
Make sure
you guys have a great one, and we'll catch y'all later.